Today, I want to talk about something simple but very important: my daily routine. It might seem like an ordinary topic, but the way we spend our day has a strong influence on our life. Our habits, our mood, and even our success depend on what we do every day. I usually wake up at around 7 a.m. I don't always feel ready to get up immediately, especially if I went to bed late the night before. Sometimes I stay in bed for a few minutes and think about what I need to do during the day. This quiet time helps me prepare mentally before I start moving. After I get up, I go to the bathroom, wash my face, and brush my teeth. Then I usually take a quick shower. It helps me wake up and feel more energetic. I believe that small morning habits can really change how you feel during the day. Next, I go to the kitchen to have breakfast. I prefer simple meals, like eggs and toast or yogurt with fruit. On busy days, I might just drink coffee. While I eat, I often listen to something in English. It could be a podcast, a video, or music. This is one of the easiest ways to improve my listening skills without spending extra time. After breakfast, I get dressed and prepare to leave the house. I always check if I have everything I need: my phone, my wallet, and my keys. Sometimes I forget something and have to go back, which can be frustrating, especially when I'm in a hurry. Then I go to work. Depending on the situation, I might walk, take public transport, or use a taxi. During the journey, I like to observe people and think about my plans for the day. It's a good moment to relax before work begins. When I arrive, I usually start by organizing my tasks. I try to plan my day so that I can work efficiently and avoid unnecessary stress. However, not everything always goes according to plan. Sometimes unexpected situations appear, and I have to adapt quickly. During the day, I communicate with different people, solve problems, and focus on my responsibilities. It's not always easy to stay concentrated, especially when I feel tired or distracted. That's why I try to take short breaks. Even a few minutes can help me refresh my mind and continue working more effectively. At lunchtime, I take a break and eat something. I often eat with colleagues, and we have casual conversations about work, daily life, or future plans. These moments are important because they help create a positive and friendly atmosphere. In the afternoon, I continue working. This is usually the time when my energy level starts to drop. I try to stay productive and complete the most important tasks before the end of the day. Sometimes it requires extra effort, but finishing work on time gives me a good feeling. After work, I finally have time for myself. Depending on how I feel, I might go for a walk, meet friends, or simply relax. I believe it's important to have a balance between work and personal life. In the evening, I often cook dinner. I enjoy cooking because it helps me relax after a long day. Sometimes I try new recipes, and sometimes I prepare something quick and familiar. After dinner, I spend time on my hobbies. I might watch a series, read a book, or continue learning English. I try to practice regularly, even if it's just for a short time. Consistency is more important than long study sessions. Before going to bed, I usually slow down and avoid anything too stressful or exciting. I prefer calm activities like listening to music or reflecting on my day. This helps me relax and sleep better. I normally go to bed at around 11 p.m., although it depends on the day. Not every day is the same. Some days are busy and stressful, while others are calm and enjoyable. But having a general routine helps me stay organized and feel more in control. If you think about your own daily routine, you might notice that small habits play a big role in your life. Even simple actions like waking up at the same time or practicing English for a few minutes every day can make a big difference over time. Improving your English doesn't require huge effort all at once. The most important thing is to make it part of your daily life. Listen regularly, speak when you can, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Progress comes step by step. Your day may seem ordinary, but it is actually full of opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. The way you spend your time today shapes who you will become tomorrow. So when I think about my daily routine, I don't just see a list of activities. I see a structure that supports my life. Each small action connects to something bigger. For example, waking up on time is not just about starting the day early. It's about discipline. Listening to English in the morning is not just a habit. It's a step toward fluency. Let me continue my day a little more deeply. After I finish my evening activities and start to relax, I often reflect on what I did during the day. I ask myself simple questions. What went well today? What could I improve tomorrow? Did I use my time wisely? This kind of reflection doesn't take long, sometimes just 5 minutes, but it helps me become more aware of my habits. Awareness is the first step to improvement. Sometimes I realize that I spent too much time on my phone or got distracted by something unimportant. Other times, I feel proud because I stayed focused and completed everything I planned. Both situations are useful because they teach me something. Another important part of my routine is planning for the next day. Before I go to sleep, I often think about what I need to do tomorrow. I don't make a very long list because that can feel stressful. Instead, I choose 2 or 3 important tasks. This makes my next day clearer and easier to manage. Sleep is also a key part of my routine. If I don't sleep well, everything becomes more difficult the next day. I feel tired, I can't concentrate, and even simple tasks seem harder. That's why I try to go to bed at a regular time and avoid using my phone too much before sleeping. However, I want to be honest. Not every day is perfect. There are days when I wake up late and feel rushed. There are days when I don't feel motivated to work or study. Sometimes I skip my English practice or choose comfort instead of productivity. And that's normal. A good routine is not about being perfect every day. It's about returning to your habits, even after a bad day. For example, if I don't practice English today, I don't say, I failed. Instead, I say, I will continue tomorrow. This mindset helps me stay consistent in the long term. Let's talk a bit more about learning English in daily life. You don't need special time to study English. You can include it naturally in your routine. For example, in the morning, you can listen to a short podcast while getting ready. During your commute, you can learn new words or repeat phrases. In the evening, you can watch a series in English with subtitles. Even small actions, repeated every day, create strong results. I personally like to repeat phrases out loud. This helps me improve my pronunciation and confidence. Sometimes I speak to myself, describing what I'm doing. For example, I'm making breakfast. I'm going to work. I need to finish this task. It may feel strange at first, but it's very effective. Another useful habit is thinking in English. Instead of translating from your native language, try to form simple thoughts directly in English. At first, your sentences may be basic, but over time they will become more natural and complex. Let me give you a small example. Instead of thinking, как это сказать на английском? Try to think, how can I explain this in simple English? This small change helps your brain adapt faster. Now, let's return to the idea of routine. A daily routine gives structure, but it should also be flexible. Life is not always predictable. Sometimes plans change, and that's okay. The goal is not to control everything, but to have a stable base. For example, even if my schedule changes, I still try to keep some core habits. Waking up at a similar time, practicing English for a few minutes, taking breaks during work, reflecting at the end of the day. These small habits create stability, even in busy or stressful periods. Let's imagine a different kind of day. Sometimes, instead of going to work, I might have a free day. My routine changes, but I still try to stay active and productive. On a free day, I might wake up a little later, maybe at 8 or 9 a.m. I take my time with breakfast and enjoy a slower morning. I might go for a longer walk or spend time outside. Free days are important because they allow me to rest and recharge. Without rest, it's difficult to stay motivated in the long term. During the day, I might focus on personal projects. For example, improving my English, learning something new, or working on creative ideas. I also try to reduce stress by doing things I enjoy. In the evening, I might meet friends or simply relax at home. Social time is also important. Talking to people, sharing ideas, and laughing together helps improve mood and mental health. Now let's think about your routine. Everyone's day is different. Some people work in the morning, others at night. Some people are very active, others prefer a slower pace. There is no perfect routine for everyone, but there are some universal principles. Consistency is more important than intensity. Small habits create big results. Balance is key. Work, rest, and personal time. Reflection helps you improve. If you follow these ideas, your routine can become a powerful tool. Let me give you a simple example of improving one habit. Imagine you want to improve your English listening skills. Instead of studying for 2 hours once a week, try listening for 10 to 15 minutes every day. Choose something interesting: podcasts, videos, or music. At first, you may not understand everything. That's okay. Focus on general meaning, key words, and repetition. After some time, you will notice progress. This is how routines work. Not through big changes, but through small, repeated actions. Another important point is motivation. Many people wait to feel motivated before they act. But in reality, action often comes first, and motivation follows. For example, you may not feel like studying English today, but if you start for just 5 minutes, you might continue for longer. And even if you don't, those 5 minutes still count. Routine helps you act even when motivation is low. Let's also talk about distractions. In modern life, it's very easy to get distracted. Phones, social media, notifications. These things can take a lot of time without us noticing. That's why I try to create small rules for myself. For example, I don't check my phone immediately after waking up. I focus on one task at a time. I take breaks instead of switching tasks constantly. These simple rules help improve concentration. Of course, I don't always follow them perfectly, but even partial success is useful. Now, as the day ends and I prepare to sleep, I feel a sense of completion. Not because everything was perfect, but because I moved forward. And that is the most important idea I want to share with you. Your daily routine is not about perfection. It is about progress. Every day is a new opportunity. You can learn something new. You can improve one small habit. You can become a little better than yesterday. Even if the change is small, it still matters. So tomorrow, when you wake up, try to notice your routine. Pay attention to your habits. Ask yourself, what can I improve today? What small step can I take? And remember, your day may seem simple, but it is building your future. Step by step, day by day, habit by habit. Let's continue this idea a little further, because your daily routine is not only about what you do, it's also about how you think, how you feel, and how you respond to different situations. When I wake up the next day, everything starts again, but it's never exactly the same. Even if the structure is similar, my mood can be different. Some mornings I feel full of energy and ready to take action. Other mornings I feel slow, quiet, or even a little tired. And this is something important to understand. Your routine should support you, not fight against you. For example, on days when I feel tired, I don't try to force myself to be extremely productive immediately. Instead, I start slowly. I give myself a little more time. I do simple tasks first. Maybe I listen to something easy in English, or I review words I already know. This gentle start helps me build momentum. Momentum is a powerful concept. It means that once you start moving, it becomes easier to continue. The hardest part is often the beginning. Think about this. How many times did you not want to start something, but once you began, it became easier? This is why small actions are so important. After my morning routine when I go to work again, I try to notice small improvements. Maybe I communicate more clearly. Maybe I solve a problem faster. Maybe I stay focused for longer. These small improvements are signs that my routine is working. Sometimes, during the day, I also try to change something slightly to make my routine more interesting. For example, I might take a different route to work, listen to a new podcast, or try a new type of food for lunch. These small changes keep life fresh and prevent boredom. Routine does not mean repetition without thinking. It means having a structure, but still staying flexible and curious. Now, let's talk more about communication during the day. When I speak with people, I try to be present. This means I focus on the conversation instead of thinking about something else. Active listening is very important, especially if you are learning English. When you listen carefully, you learn not only words, but also rhythm, tone, and natural expressions. For example, you might notice how people start sentences. Well, I think, to be honest, in my opinion, these small phrases make your speech sound more natural. You can try to use them in your daily conversations. Even simple sentences can sound more advanced if you use natural expressions. Let's imagine a situation. You're talking to a colleague or a friend in English. Instead of saying, "I think this is good," you can say, "Well, I think this is a good idea because it's simple and effective." This is a small difference, but it makes your speech richer and more confident. During the day, I also try to notice my energy levels. In the morning, my energy is usually higher. In the afternoon, it often decreases. This is natural. So I try to do more important or difficult tasks earlier in the day when my mind is fresh. In the afternoon, I focus on simpler tasks or things that require less concentration. Understanding your own energy is part of building a good routine. Now let's talk about breaks again, but in more detail. A good break is not just stopping work. It's changing your activity. For example, if you sit for a long time, stand up and walk. If you look at a screen, rest your eyes. If you think too much, do something physical. Even a short walk can refresh your mind. Sometimes, during a break, I also use English in a relaxed way. I might watch a short video, listen to music, or repeat a few phrases. This way, learning becomes part of my life, not something separate. Now let's move to the end of the working day again. When I finish my work, I often feel a transition. It's like moving from one part of the day to another. This transition is important. If you don't separate work and personal time, you may feel tired all the time. That's why I like to create a small ritual after work. It can be something simple, changing clothes, going for a short walk, listening to music. This helps my mind understand work is finished, now it's time to relax. In the evening, when I have more free time, I sometimes choose activities based on my mood. If I feel tired, I choose something relaxing, like watching a series or listening to calm music. If I feel energetic, I might learn something new, practice English, or work on a personal project. Listening to yourself is very important. Many people follow routines that don't match their real needs. They try to copy others, but what works for one person may not work for another. Your routine should fit your life. Now let's explore the idea of habits in more depth. A habit is something you do regularly, often without thinking. The goal is to make positive actions automatic. For example, if you practice English every day at the same time, it becomes part of your routine. You don't need to decide every day, you just do it. At first, building a habit requires effort, but over time it becomes easier. Let's imagine you want to build a habit of speaking English. At the beginning, you might feel uncomfortable. You might make mistakes. You might feel unsure. But if you continue, day after day, your confidence grows. After some time, speaking English becomes more natural. This is the power of habits. Now let's talk about challenges. No routine is perfect, and no routine works all the time. Sometimes life changes. You may have more work, less time, or unexpected problems. During these moments, it's important to keep your routine simple. Instead of doing everything, focus on the most important habits. For example, even if you are busy, you can still practice English for 5 minutes. Even if you are tired, you can still reflect for 1 minute. Small actions keep your routine alive. Now let's imagine a difficult day. You wake up late. You feel tired. You have many tasks. Things don't go as planned. In this situation, your routine helps you stay stable. Even if everything is not perfect, you can still do something positive. Maybe you take a short break instead of pushing too hard. Maybe you complete one important task instead of many small ones. Maybe you practice English for a few minutes instead of skipping it completely. This is enough. Progress is not always big. Sometimes it is small, quiet, and slow, but it still moves you forward. Now, let's go back to the evening again. In the evening, when everything becomes quiet, I sometimes think about the bigger picture. Not just my day, but my life. Where am I going? What am I learning? What do I want to improve? These questions don't always have clear answers, but thinking about them helps me stay aware, and awareness leads to better decisions. Let's talk a bit more about consistency. Consistency means doing something regularly, even when it's difficult. Many people start strong but stop after a short time. The reason is not lack of ability, it's lack of consistency. If you want real progress, you need to continue, even when you don't feel like it. But consistency does not mean pressure. It means commitment. You don't need to do a lot every day. You just need to continue. Now let's connect this idea to your English learning again. Imagine you practice every day for a short time. You listen for 10 minutes. You speak for 5 minutes. You learn a few new words. After 1 week, you see small progress. After 1 month, you feel more confident. After several months, you notice a big difference. This is how improvement works. Not in one day, but over time. Now, let me give you a simple exercise you can try. Tomorrow, observe your day. Notice what you do in the morning. Notice how you spend your time. Notice when you feel focused and when you feel distracted. Then ask yourself, what is one small thing I can improve? Maybe you wake up 10 minutes earlier. Maybe you listen to English while having breakfast. Maybe you reduce time on your phone. Just one small change. This is enough. Now, as I prepare to sleep again, I feel calm. Not because everything is perfect, but because I understand my day, and understanding your day means understanding your life. Because your life is made of days, and your days are made of habits, and your habits are made of small choices. So remember, you don't need to change everything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to continue. Day by day, step by step, word by word, and slowly, without even noticing, your routine will change your life.